Good evening. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Wilson School Board for Monday, November 18th, 2019. Can I have roll call, please?
Here. Mr. Ehrlich?
Here.
Mr. Hart?
Here.
Mr. Hopp?
Here.
Dr. Kennedy? Here. Mrs. Cocker? Here. Mr. Martin? Mr. Negrini?
Here.
Mr. Wolf?
Here.
8 present, 1 absent.
Thank you. Would you all please rise for the posting of the colors?
Mark time, march, detail, halt, left, base. Sir, request permission to post colors. Colors, post. Reset, arms. Face. Mark time. March. Forward. March.
Seated. Mr. Maravich.
Announcement of public participation. There's two opportunities for the public to address the board. One is on agenda items, which is immediately before the agenda. Second is on non-agenda items, which is at the end of the meeting. Pursuant to board policy and the Sunshine Law, it's a 3-minute opportunity to provide the board with information on matters that are or may come before it. And my understanding is we don't have anybody signed up. Correct.
We have 2 recognitions tonight. Are you doing the first one, Dr. Fadley? Or are we going to do these young ladies and get them out of here?
We're going to do these young ladies first.
Let them get out of here. Mr. Kaufman, would you like to come up and introduce these outstanding young ladies that are in here?
Sure, it'd be my pleasure. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for allowing me a few minutes to recognize our PIAA state champion field hockey team. However, before I do that, I'd like to take the opportunity to also recognize the very successful season that we had as a whole this past fall. Collectively, our teams went 141, 41, and 1 during the regular season this fall, which equates to a remarkable 77% winning percentage, which is absolutely outstanding, especially when you take into account the number of sports that we offer. Here's a recap of some of the special accomplishments this past fall. Our girls cross-country team was the BCIAA runner-up, and we also had the individual champion in Karen Rippey. Field hockey team, we're going to talk about them in a little bit, but they were the BCIAA finalists, the District 3 finalists, and of course our PIAA state champion. In golf, we were the BCIAA runner-up, and we also had the individual champion there with Megan Ruffing. Boys soccer was a PIAA state qualifier. Girls soccer were the BCIAA champions and also a PIAA state qualifier. Our girls volleyball team was a BCIAA finalist for the first time in school history, and both our boys water polo and girls water polo teams were Central Conference runners-up. In addition to our sports team, our marching band had an exceptional fall season as well. Some of their achievements included 3 first-place finishes, 2 high percussion awards, a second-place color guard finish at the finals, and a 93.5 final score, which was the 3rd highest championship score in 20 years. So all of these fantastic results are a testament to our coaches and the dedication of all of our students, and I'd like to thank them all for their commitment to the Wilson School District and for representing our school district and our community in such a positive manner. So it was a great fall season, and obviously we're here tonight to recognize our PIAA state champion field hockey team. This year's team went 25-3 with all 3 losses coming against teams that played for a state championship this past Saturday. And the team avenged one of those losses in the biggest game of the season this past weekend as they beat Lower Dolphin in a penalty shootout and captured our school's first ever state championship in the sport of field hockey. So led by head coach Kim Underwood, I'd like to congratulate her and the team on a great season and their PIAA Class 3A state championship. And I know Coach Underwood has a few words to say as well.
I'm just going to take a second, but I just wanted to, on behalf of the coaching staff and the 40 young ladies on our team, we'd just like to thank Mr. Wolf and the entire school board, as well as Dr. Fadley and all the administrators for all the support and the guidance that you guys have given us throughout the year from everybody. I mean, our grounds crew is amazing, to the people that help us, and Doc and Kieran and the principals, and everybody has just been amazing and so supportive. And with the parade the other day, I know the girls really had a great time and just felt really special. And not only do you support our program, but just all of the extracurriculars here at Wilson School District. And I know it's a big part about what we stand for here at Wilson, and just all the opportunities that you provide for our students, and not just the student athletes, but all the students here at Wilson. And we just are so grateful and thankful. And we know that these girls learn a lot of life lessons along the way, and because of those opportunities. And so we appreciate all of you, and we just want to make sure you know that. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Before the girls come up, I just wanted to take a moment to say a few things. being the head of the extracurricular committee has been one of my biggest joys, being on the board. I'm definitely a huge fan of high school sports, not only because I love sports, but because of the life lessons I think it teaches us, and it just replicates life, I think. And I just want to say how blessed I think we are to have Coach Underwood and her staff. Not only do they teach you a ton about field hockey, but I think more importantly, they teach you a lot about life and integrity and character. I know you've dealt with some adversity this season, and above all, the right lesson was taught the entire time. So I'm very proud to have you guys part of this program. Coach Underwood, if you guys don't know, has a great hockey background as well. She was an outstanding athlete here, won 2 NCAA national championships at the University of North Carolina. So to have a coach of that caliber is unbelievable, but then to have someone that focuses on integrity and character, I think is just, we're very blessed. So thank you for all you do. Girls, that was one of the most exciting games I've been part of in a long time, probably since last year's boys soccer championship. You guys seem to win these things in dramatic ways. So I want to commend you. I can't imagine how cold it was and how tired you were playing the full game, then 2 15-minute overtimes, which you actually go down a few players and have to run even more, and then to have the energy left to make those one-on-ones, it's just amazing. So enjoy it. I don't know if it's fully sunk in for you yet, the gravity of what you've actually done. If you don't know, Mr. Negrini and Mr. Kaufman and I and Coach Underwood's younger brother, Derek, won a state championship about 28 years ago. And I don't tell many people this because it's kind of a corny story, but I still keep my medal in a safe. And I do that not because it's worth anything or it's valuable, but it reminds me every time I go down and get something out of that safe, it reminds me of the hard work and the dedication and what it means to put others before yourself and put the team first all the time. And it's just a little reminder every time I go down to that safe and I look at that medal. Doesn't mean anything to too many other people, but it's been a great reminder for me, and I hope it does the same for you guys. So congratulations again. And feel free to come up and shake hands. Good job. Yep. Thank you for everything. Yep. Thank you. Great job. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
You guys are going to sit, they're going to stand behind you.
No bunny ears.
We have 3 board members that will be leaving the board after tonight's meeting. They chose not to run for re-election, but we wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for your year's dedication. Jason, if I remember, you had 16 years your first time around, and then another year and 3 months this time. Matt, 8 years of dedication to the board, and Steve, 10. Your wisdom, your knowledge, your guidance, and your expertise in all of your areas that you brought to the board is just invaluable. We are where we are today because of your leadership, All three of you have been a president at one time on the board, and you have led us through some controversial times, good times, not so good times, but we've always gotten through it through guidance from you, support and guidance from our other board members. And we just want to say thank you for your hard work, your dedication, and for putting the board and district first, sometimes above what best serves you, because you knew it better served the board and the district and the students ultimately. So, Jason, on behalf, you already received a rocking chair for the 16 years, but there's a blanket in the middle there with Wilson on it. So that is our token of appreciation to you from the board, from the district. So thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Brad.
Matt, thank you. Oh, okay. Correctly, I'm trying to look at it from here, but no way I'll see it. The lamp on the right is yours. It has
Thank
your
you.
name and your years of service. So thank you for your dedication. And the lamp at the end of the meeting, please take home.
Great.
It's,
Thank you.
a very nice token of appreciation to you and for your service.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks.
And Steve, thank you again for your years of service and for working with, we had HR the past 2 years. I've enjoyed working with you on that. We went through a lot, and I appreciate your help and support. Your lamp is on the left with your years of service also, so please, that is for you to take tonight too. So thank you to you. And once again, if you're ever bored on a Monday night, first or third Wednesday, plenty of seats for you. We can always take your help, join in, and once again, a big thank you to all three of you. Thank you very much.
I'm looking forward to the first thing I can come and complain about, honestly, so. Yes.
If I may, I just wanted to say what a privilege it's been serving with, for Mr. Ehrlich the last 9 years, for Mr. Wolf, Mr. Hop the last 8 years. As Wilson graduates, Jason and Matt have certainly been constantly dedicated to providing, our district the opportunity to be a better district than the district that they left with diplomas more than 25 years ago. As parents, all three of you have been dedicated and committed to providing the highest level of education for your children here in Wilson. You've been an integral part of providing a robust curriculum here and numerous opportunities for your children and everyone else's children for extracurricular opportunities that are not afforded to students in other districts. As neighbors, you've had the difficult task of balancing budget and rising taxes with individuals that you are certainly neighbors with, that you're friends with, that you're family members with. And that can create all kinds of personal dilemmas that you face year in and year out with those budgetary decisions and those contract decisions. As husbands, I know that all of your wives, from time to time, had to endure moments of frustration and sadness and anger from experiences that, as board members, those issues have permeated into their own personal lives. And we thank you for that, and your wives for having to go through situations like those. I can tell you that there's nothing prestigious about serving in the position of being a school board member. More often than not, you're the subject of criticism, that routinely you will be told of all the things that you're doing wrong, and worse yet, from time to time, that you may be told that you simply don't care about certain issues or certain individuals. I know that to be the contrary to those statements. Despite all of those challenges, all of you had volunteered after 4 difficult and critical years to volunteer once again to serve our district. And I know all of you have never, ever once sought any type of praise or thanks for your role. And I think tonight is the ideal time to say thank you where you deserve those thanks and praise for your time and hours provided to the district. So for me personally, having served with each of you, thank you very much.
For me, Jay, I appreciate the words. It means a lot. For me, like I judge most things that I decide to get involved with, at the end of the day, it's, who are the people that are going to be involved with, what kind of impact is it going to have? And I can say I have no regrets with the people I've gotten to know here and gotten to work with and grown to like each and every one of you and really valued the time that I spent. Learned a lot as well. I came in pretty wet behind the ears about this whole thing and have definitely learned a lot. So you guys have all been great role models and thank you for having me. And I can't think of a better way to serve our community than, something that helps impact our children as well. So thank you again for all of you and your support.
Sitting in the role of superintendent and working with 9 committed individuals to do what's best for not only the students and staff in our organization, but also what's best for the community. And sometimes that's a hard balance. And like Mr. Negrini said, sometimes it's not a job where you get a lot of attaboys and slaps on the back. But I can tell you, as superintendent of schools, I'm going to miss all 3 of your leadership. We've formed, I think, an inseparable bond on some of the things that we've had to deal with over the course of the last 3 years in my tenure. But I think, first and foremost, all of the decisions that we arrived to, I think, have made our organization better. And it's a testament to all of you that are sitting at this table. As you move on into other pursuits or even just staying home on Monday evening, I know you will do it with the satisfaction in knowing that your contributions to the Wilson School District will leave a legacy. Because every decision, every budget, every opportunity that you've had to make our school district better, you've embraced that with open arms. And you will always carry a special place in my life because not a lot of superintendents can say that they like all of their board members. And I truly do. I mean, this board is committed. And you read articles in the paper all the time about all of the conflicts that are going on other places. And that doesn't happen here because of the leadership and the dedication of individuals that serve their community. So it's my honor this evening, school boards across the Commonwealth, the Pennsylvania School Board Association gives out honor roll certifications once a board member reaches 8 years of service and then every 4 years after. So Mr. Hopp has received these honor roll certificates a number of times. And had he stayed and got to 20, he would have got another one. And I can also honestly say that I'm sure Mr. Wolf, this is not the first time he's been on the honor roll. But I do want to recognize at the 8-year mark a certificate of appreciation for Mr. Wolf and hand him this. He can maybe put that in the safe next to your soccer. That's right. Soccer state championship.
I will do so proudly.
Mr. Ehrlich, your service has been extremely valuable as Mr. Hopp. And Mr. Martin is also going to receive an honor roll certificate because of his number of years of service, but we decided we would do that at the next meeting when he's present. So those of you who are leaving us, you will be very missed. But I am very confident that the community has elected individuals onto this board that will continue your legacy. So thank you very much for being my boss for the last 3 years. Partner.
Yeah. Yes.
hard to believe, and thank you for every nice thing that everybody said. Thank you, Mr. Negrini. It's been nice working with you all these years on the Finance Committee and facilities. And it's hard to believe it's been 10 years. And as I was thinking about this over the weekend, thinking of obviously everything that we've been through over the past 10 years and some of the tough decisions that we made. And one of the first things I thought of was the really tough decision of closing West Wyomissing in Lincoln Park. And supposedly that decision had been kicked down the road for 28 years. And my sister-in-law, who used to be a teacher in this district, always told me when she got hired here that Dr. Ruth said, well, you're only going to work here a year because then we're going to close those schools. And 28 years later, the schools were still open. And while a tough decision, I think it was the best decision for the district. And I've actually had people come up to me whose children were affected by those closings after the fact and said they were very much opposed to those schools closing, but after the fact and after their kids got integrated in the new schools, that it was the best thing that could have happened. They kind of didn't realize maybe what their kids were missing by being in those schools, just with the limitations. Obviously, constructed two beautiful turf fields. We refurbished a pool, and those 3 facilities are not just used by students, but used by the community as a whole on a regular basis. And seeing Coach Underwood here, I remember at the time I was the chair of the facilities committee, and I remember Coach Underwood telling us, we can't get good teams to come to Wilson to play us because we still play on grass, and good teams just won't come here. And I remember being out there with her and talking about the different lengths of the grass that you need, the artificial turf that you need for turf fields, for field hockey as opposed to football and those types of things. And that was an interesting process to go through. And obviously, given my financial background, I'm proud of the financial state that I think that we've gained here at Wilson, that hopefully I'm leaving the district with. It's been a pleasure to work with Christine over the years. I don't think everybody always recognizes she's not on the education front, but she is truly a gem for this school district. And sometimes people don't like to hear this, but we are in the business of educating students, so we have to take the business part of it into account. And I think Christine does a great job of balancing that, and honestly looks at the education side as well, and does just, I think, an outstanding job. I've had the opportunity to work with great administrators, great teachers, and some great board members over the years. The late George Mack, Brenda Mack, Al Wicks, Carol Reed, and I know I'm going to forget some people, Carol Reed, Jason Hopp, and Jay, Brad, and Matt for many years, and getting to know the new board members has been nice. And I feel like every board member brings something to the table and has their strengths and what they feel. And I can honestly say in my 10 years on the board, I know some of the decisions, as we've said, aren't always popular, but I always did what I thought was in the best interest of the school district as a whole, and that's what I always tried to do. So thank you for having me for 10 years, and good luck.
Thank you.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Just very brief. This evening is about you and Steve, and I just want to say thank you for giving me an opportunity to stay a little longer, to serve with both of you. Both of you I consider friends. You are the utmost of professionals. I've learned so much from both of you. You've made this district a better place. I mean, to hear 8 and 10 years that I've had the opportunity to serve with you, I mean, as I get older, my life is just one big blur. Like, I remember bringing my son home from the hospital, and now he carries the 50-pound bags of water softener salt down to the basement. So, I mean, it's just, I don't know where that time went, but Wilson is a better place with both of you who have served here for as long as you have. I've said my thank yous and goodbyes already to Jay and Brad and previously Mike. I want to thank Amy and Ed and Steph for the opportunity to serve with you guys for the last almost year and a half. I think what makes Wilson great is all of us can sit down at a table and learn from each other, and I've learned from everyone. I can truthfully say, no hyperbole, I've learned from every single one sitting at this table. And I want to thank you for that. For the two new board members that are coming, I don't know them personally, but I want to thank them for them wanting to serve Wilson and taking the opportunity and effort and time to want to get involved. There's going to be an opening that the board is likely going to have to appoint somebody to fill a spot besides them, and I hope that person serves this board with the professionalism that Steve and Matt have done, because Wilson will just keep getting better and better because of gentlemen like this. So thank you very much.
Okay, just an announcement that the board did meet in executive session prior to tonight's meeting to discuss a tax issue. All right, moving along with the agenda. Looking for a motion to approve the minutes for the school board meeting held November 4th, 2019. I have a motion. Mrs. Cocker, thank you. Second. Mr. Case, thank you. It's a voice vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Moving on to the treasurer's report, we're looking for a motion to approve the treasurer's report, investment report, general fund, financial reports as presented. Mr. Ehrlich, thank you. Second. Mr. Hart, thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Case? Yes. Mr. Ehrlich? Yes. Mr. Hart? Yes. Mr. Hop? Yes. Dr. Kennedy? Yes. Mrs. Cocker? Yes. Mr. Negrini? Yes. Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
That's 8-4, 0 against.
Thank you. Moving on to payment of bills, looking for a motion to approve the payment of bills as follows. From the general fund, $2,773,971.99. From capital reserve, $23,969.20. From the 2017B construction fund, $18,150.50. And from the 2019A construction fund, $277,354.96. Do I have a motion for those? Mr. Hart, thank you. Second. Mr. Ehrlich, roll call, please.
Ehrlich? Yes. Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Hop?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini? Yes. Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-4, 0 against.
Under financial reports, need a motion to approve the financial reports for the month of October as presented. It would be the cafeteria, childcare, and then the activity accounts, Southern Middle School, Wilson Middle School, Westwood Middle School, and the senior high school activity account. Do I have a motion for those? Mr. Ehrlich, thank you. Second, Mr. Case. Roll call, please.
Mr. Hart? Yes. Mr. Hop?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-4, 0 against.
Superintendent's report, Dr. Fadley.
Thank you, President Wolf. It's my privilege this evening to present the superintendent's report. Included are personnel and program recommendations.
Thank you. Looking for a motion for 6-1 through 6-6. Mr. Ehrlich, thank you. Mrs. Cocker, second. Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Hop?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Abstain?
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
That's 7-4, 0 against, 1 abstain.
Thank you. Under field trips, we have two wrestling field trips to approve. First is permission to approve the high school wrestling traveling to Mechanicsburg, PA, Cumberland Valley High School on December 6th through the 7th, 2019. Cost of the district is the use of 2 school vans, 0 days out of school for students. Then also permission to approve the high school wrestling team to travel to Bethlehem, PA, to Liberty High School on December 27th through the 29th, 2019. Cost to the school district to use the 2 school vans, 0 days out of school for the students. Do I have a motion for 7-1 and 7-2? Mr. Case, thank you. Dr. Kennedy, second. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Thank you. Under Human Resources, looking for a motion to approve the Act 93 agreement as attached. 8.2, looking for a motion to approve the administrative salaries adjustment as attached. 8.3, looking for a motion to approve the amendment to the contract for Christine Schlossman as attached. 8.4, motion to approve Jessica Schnettler, accounting manager at $70,000 per year, effective 11/25/2019. 8.5, motion to approve Stephanie Sherman to be contracted payroll specialist as presented. And 8.6, motion to approve Jamie Motzko Garcia as a mentor as presented. So I need a motion for 8.1 through 8.6. Mr. Negrini, thank you. Mr. Ehrlich, second. Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Hart? Mr. Hop?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
0 against, 1 abstain.
Thank you. Under Student Services, need a request to approve, a motion to approve a resolution approving and adopting a student discipline waiver and consent agreement dated November 8th, 2019. Mr. Hart, thank you. Mrs. Cocker, second. Thank you. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Hop?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-4, 0 against.
10.1, looking for motion to approve to contract with Lincoln IU 12 for funding year 2020 E-rate consulting services pending solicitor review and approval. And 10.2, motion to approve to purchase a subscription to FaxFinder Cloud for online faxing at a one-time cost of $649.99 and an annual cost of $1,782. Do I have a motion for 10.1 and 10.2? Mr. Case, thank you. Mrs. Cocker, second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Hop?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker? Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-4, 0 against.
11.1, looking for a motion to grant permission to proceed with the cleaning and painting of the Southern Middle School gym to be paid with the proceeds of the general obligation bond, Series 2019A, total cost of $15,759 as presented. And 11.2, motion to grant permission to proceed with the Wilson Southern Middle School weight room, floor, and new equipment at a cost of $46,666 to be provided by Webster's Fitness Products Incorporated to be paid with the proceeds of the general obligation bond, Series 2019A. Do I have a motion for 11.1 through 11.2? Mr. Negrini, thank you. Mr. Case, second. Any discussion? Mr. Negrini?
Regarding the weight room, as we've discussed many times throughout the last couple of years in seeing to it that West, as the newer of the middle school, and Southern have equitable opportunities, facilities. This is something that has been on the back burner for a number of years. Much of the equipment over there is outdated, so this has been a long time coming for the upgrade regarding the weight room. And regarding the painting and cleaning of the middle school gym, again, these two middle school facilities should look as similar as possible so that it's not in any way apparent that one building is significantly newer looking than the other. Dr. Burnham and I have these conversations on a regular basis. So once again, as Jason and I being alumni of Southern Middle School, this is in keeping with things that we've been doing over the last couple of years for providing that equity throughout the district.
Thank you. Yeah, I think we can all agree with that statement. Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Hop?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-4, 0 against.
Thank you. Moving on to policies. Looking for a motion to accept the repeal of policies number 327, management team, and, oh, I'm sorry. A little anxious to get out of here, I guess. No offense. All right, motion under 12.1, motion to grant permission to receive the audit report from Herbine and Company for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2019, as attached. 12.2, motion to approve the accelerated budget opt-out resolution for the 2020-2021 fiscal year as presented. And 12.3, motion to approve the budget transfers dated October 16th, 2019 through November 11th, 2019 as presented. I have a motion for those. Mr. Ehrlich, thank you. Second, Mr. Hart. Any discussion? Yes, Mr. Ehrlich.
And on the audit by Herbine and Company, once again, just want to point out, the district received a clean audit, once again, which really is a testament to Christine and her staff in the finance office. I think sometimes people don't realize dealing with a budget of over $100 million, and it's an ever-moving process and a budget, and want to thank you once again for doing a great job. We always have good meetings with Herbine. The laws are constantly changing on what the finance area has to comply with, and Christine does a great job at staying on top of that. So the district should be proud to have someone like her.
Absolutely. Thank you. Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Hop?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
0 against.
Okay, now moving on to policies. 13.1, looking for a motion to accept the repeal of policy number 327, management team, and number 348, unlawful harassment as presented. And 13.2, looking for a motion to accept the review of policy 328, wage and salary as presented. Do I have a motion for those? Mrs. Cocker, thank you. Mr. Hart, second. Any discussion? Oh, those are just first reading, no votes? It does say roll call, though.
No, you have to say, I'm sorry, roll call on those two.
Those two, roll call?
Correct.
Okay, so roll call on those two then, please.
Mr. Hart?
Yes.
Mr. Hop?
Yes.
Dr. Kennedy?
Yes.
Mrs. Cocker?
Yes.
Mr. Negrini?
Yes.
Mr. Case?
Yes.
Mr. Ehrlich?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
8-4, 0 against.
Okay, then we just have a first reading of those following policies: 247, 302, 311, 320, 321, 322, 331, 333, 334, 335, 336, 337, 338, 347, 351, and 351.1. You guys were busy that last meeting. Mrs. Cocker.
Actually, after some further thought on our policy 338, sabbatical leave for restoration of health and leave of absence for professional development. This leans more towards a situation if it was an absence for professional development. The main change in that policy is that the wording used to be employees shall be permitted to work while on leave as long as the work does not interfere with the purpose of the leave. That sentence was taken out of the policy. Nothing was replaced to say that people are not allowed to work, but I think we need to strengthen the language there because it kind of leaves it ambiguous then. And I think it should be, it makes sense if somebody's on leave for professional development and they're going, let's say, for their doctorate, that they wouldn't then also, so they have full benefits and half salary, that they wouldn't then also have a full-time teaching job in a different district. Like, that makes sense. But just from a different angle, if the individual that's taking the leave is single income and then they only receive half of their income for that full year, I think it's unfair for the district to say that they wouldn't be able to have any sort of employment, part-time job at Starbucks or something. I don't think that we should restrict, so possibly language stating, I don't know, something in reference to a teaching position or a full-time position or up to the discretion of the superintendent. I think possibly the wording could be secured for that.
Makes sense.
So if the board has an opportunity during the second reading, we can bring that policy back with some cleaned up language for the board to consider regarding that particular item.
Dr. Fagan, would it be possible to look at maybe what some other districts have done?
Yeah,
I
well,
can't believe we're the only.
yeah, we
I
will.
think it's a good suggestion, but rather than recreating the wheel, it'd be interesting to maybe look at some other districts to see.
Yeah, I will pull some policies from other districts to see how they address the language.
Okay. Anything else on policies?
I just want to say thank you to the policy ad hoc group. A lot of policies are we're getting through a lot as we move forward, and we're hoping to have one more meeting after this to finish the policy process. We have lofty goals, so hopefully we'll have all updated policies hopefully by the end of January.
Great. Thank you very much. All right, moving on to committee reports. BCTC, Mr. Case.
Yes. So we have not met as a joint operating committee since October 23rd, but I do want to share a couple of things that are going on. They're still busy at the East and the West campus at BCTC. So just to share a couple of things, and I'll be able to elaborate next month when once we have our meeting. But last week, BCTC Skills USA officers spent 2 days building their leadership skills and meeting with local Representative Mark Rozzi at the PA House of Representatives, which was pretty exciting. Skills USA is a partnership of students, teachers, and industry working together to ensure America has a skilled workforce. There are some great pictures on the BCTC Facebook page of the students debating in the House chambers. So they were sitting in all the chairs and everything. It's kind of neat. The same group was also in Gettysburg, representing the CTC Central Region for 3 days of workshops and leadership training. Also, this past weekend, the communications media technology students handled the video and streaming support for a live TEDx event at the Miller Center in Reading. Students gained a real-world experience by operating cameras, directing, and technical directing the live 2-hour event. This is the second year that the communication media technology students were asked to assist in the production of the annual event. TEDx is a program of local, self-organized events that bring people together to share a TED-like experience. At a TEDx event, TED Talks, video, and live speakers combine to spark deep discussion and connection in a small group. So to learn more about our communications media technology program, you can visit berkscareer.com. Also, 129 students from the BCTC East and West campuses were inducted into the National Technical Honor Society. I'm looking forward to sharing some of the names from Wilson as part of that next month. And just some other news, the PA Builders Association visited BCTC for an on-site accreditation review. Auditors met with instructors to review curriculum and ensure we are preparing our students for a successful future in the construction field. And late last month, Governor Tom Wolf signed Act 76 of 2019, which makes the governor's PA Smart website part of law and establishes provisions that support career and technical education and workforce development in PA. So the PA Smart website consolidates PA education training and job search tools for people pursuing an education or career in the Commonwealth. Over 2 years, the governor has secured $70 million in funding for the Workforce Development Initiative, with $30 million being invested in job training. So the Omnibus CTE package includes added guidelines, resources, and programs, and most importantly, undoes a lot of the wording of VOTEC and brings it more into technical education, which is a little bit more in line with what they're really about, getting away from the VOTEC stigma. Anyway, so some exciting things that are going on, even though we haven't met. I just wanted to share some of the stuff. If
Great.
anyone has any questions, please reach out or look at the website for BCTC. Thanks.
Great, thank you. Berks County IU, Dr. Kennedy.
Has not met since our last board meeting. We have a meeting this Thursday. Also, if I can jump to the curriculum committee, we haven't met either, and we do have a meeting tomorrow at 4 o'clock in Dr. Stout's office.
Okay. Thank you. Do you want to do curriculum right away? Okay. Berks EIT, Mr. Schlossman? Nothing? Okay. Extracurricular, what more can I say than we won a state championship? And for the record, I'm not saying there's a coincidence, but the last 2 years, Mrs. Cocker and I have been on the extracurricular committee, and we won 2 state championships. There's not really any pressure moving forward, but I will be paying attention. So thank you. I hope you decide to stay on that committee. First day of winter sports officially today, so I guess that's probably the only news. We're officially wrapped up with all our other sports, and winter sports started today. Facilities, Mr. Negrini.
We met on November 12th. Besides the recommendations regarding the upgrades at Southern, the district had received a request to use the baseball fields by the Chase Bomber Baseball Organization. It was recommended to decline that request. As we had indicated previously, fields are already at a premium when it comes to the school's use of the baseball fields. This would only further put some of those teams' use of those fields limited even further, so we declined that request. We received a request from the LCBC church to utilize one of our buildings for worship. We are gathering some additional information from that group to determine whether or not that request should or should not be granted. The Van Reed Athletic Association and some of our other youth groups, we were gathering and having some discussions to make sure that all of those youth groups are essentially being treated equally when it comes time to costs directly associated with, say, lining fields between Wilson Soccer and Van Reed or Lincoln Park. We've found that perhaps that has not always been the case, so we're cleaning up some of those issues to make sure that there are no discrepancies amongst our youth organizations and being treated equitably. We're still waiting on the results of the feasibility study. We still have that planned meeting in January for the public. It was recommended to move forward with some lighting upgrades at the Southern Middle School and Cornwall Terrace rear parking lots. The reason being is to make sure that there are no safety concerns during after-hours events, and to also dissuade any individuals that may be congregating in that area, perhaps to cause any particular damage or problems in that area. The wall behind the concession stand, I believe, at Gursky Stadium is in need of some touch-up painting work, and our art students here may be brought in to perhaps provide some type of Wilson-themed graphics as part of that upgrade back there. Of course, those graphics would be run by administration to make sure that they are appropriate, but it's a great opportunity for our students to spruce up that area of the stadium. Our print shop, as we have reported on this many times, has been a way for the district to save a significant amount of money as opposed to sending that out to an outside vendor. The savings have been significant over the last year or so, but production has increased significantly as well. So there's been some discussion about the difference between our current leasing options and whether or not it would be financially responsible to purchase those pieces of equipment to do the print jobs that our print shop is utilizing. We also discussed about the possibility of obtaining a new machine for the specific purpose of printing envelopes that gets mailed out to parents of the district. We still, believe it or not, utilize printing out labels and then putting those labels on the envelopes. And if you can imagine, a district with 6,000 students and the number of families associated with those students, that is time-consuming as opposed to purchasing, which many businesses have, a device that's capable of computer programming all of those addresses into the system and then very quickly printing out those envelopes. So we're gathering some costs on that, but I think it's going to be recommended to move forward on purchasing or at least leasing that particular device. So we had a busy meeting, and that's my report.
Okay, thank you very much. Finance, Mr. Ehrlich. Okay. Human Resources, Mr. Hart.
Our next meeting is next Tuesday at noon, and just for an announcement, we are now meeting bi-weekly since we have a new HR director and we have some things we want to clean up and work toward. So probably between now and summer, we'll be meeting every 2 weeks, and that will be announced in the paper, advertised in the paper.
Okay, thank you. Anyone have a legislative report with Mr. Martin not being here? Okay, we'll skip to Public Relations. Ms. Troutman.
Thank you. I just have a couple items I wanted to spotlight tonight. Some Wilson good news. I wanted to share that over 900 people attended the 18th annual Berks County Veterans Appreciation Dinner that was hosted just a few weeks ago. All proceeds from this year's event go to the Jarrett Yoder Foundation. Again, this is always a wonderful community event, and we really want to thank everyone who made that event possible. In addition, many of our schools hosted wonderful Veterans Day events where local veterans were honored and students paid respect to our local heroes. They really did a nice job. We want to recognize Green Valley community for raising $3,840.72 through their Book Fair coin drive to purchase books for the Cops and Kids program. Because of their generosity, Reading Officer Ramirez and Sergeant Shade were able to visit the book fair and shop for hundreds of books for kids in the city of Reading. They actually bought, I can't even tell you how many boxes of books they left with for those kids. It was really awesome to see. This week is National Education Week, and we are celebrating with special events at all of our schools this week. And we want to thank our community, actually in advance, who are recognizing our teachers and staff with special treats throughout the week. And we're also running a week-long social media campaign sharing quotes about the value of education. So again, looking forward to a great week celebrating education here at Wilson. We were thrilled that the Wilson High School Buddies program was recently featured on both WFMZ TV, and also there was a wonderful front page article in the Reading Eagle. We are very proud of all the students, teachers, and staff that make this program the special one that it is, and we're very appreciative of the wonderful media coverage. And finally, a reminder that there will be no school for students from Wednesday, November 27th through Monday, December 2nd in honor of Thanksgiving, and classes resume on Tuesday, December 3rd. Thank you.
Thank you. Education Foundation, Mr. Case.
For the Ed Foundation, I don't want to steal the thunder of the newsletter that's going to come out but I will just highlight a couple of things. Look for it in the, is it the, Bulldog Blast? It's going to be Blitz. Sorry, thank you. The Bulldog Blitz is going to announce and have this newsletter for fall 2019. But some of the things from the WEF, they're going to talk about the $10,000 grant that is going to fund the initial purchase of the Google expedition kits. They also talk about a grant funding the launching rockets and Life, and then also for the autistic support classroom community trips that they fund. All exciting things, and it'll be all in the Bulldog Blitz. And with that being said, with all this funding and grants that the WEF, it's a great organization that they do for Wilson. When it comes to funding, there's lots of donations that are provided for the WEF. But also another big part of the way that we can support the WEF is through the Wilson Casino Bash that's coming, the WEF Casino Bash. Tickets are still on sale. It is getting there. It's going to be a long way to get there. Anyway, November 23rd is the online or the Casino Bash. There's also an online auction that's going on right now that started on October 31st and it's going until November 21st. So if you aren't going to be at the Casino Bash, you can go online right now, and there's all sorts of things to bid on: sports teams, camps for Wilson students, and registrations. There's private lessons, there's sports passes, principal for a day, there's all sorts of cool things if you haven't heard about the stuff yet. So go online, and to get to the auctions, you can find it on our website, but you can also go to www.32auctions.com/Casino Bash. And for tickets for the WEF Casino Bash, you can also go to www.wilsonschooldistrict or wilsonsd.org/Casino Bash. So it is a Saturday, yes.
It is
Yes,
Saturday.
the
I have a
23rd.
babysitter. Got to get an outfit.
And then also the next board meeting is scheduled for this Friday, November 22nd at 7:30 a.m. in this room. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Technology, Mrs. Cocker?
Our next meeting is Tuesday, December 3rd at 4 p.m. upstairs.
Thank you. Student outreach, Ms. Patoric.
The past 2 weeks were very successful. Just to reiterate, congratulations to the field hockey team for winning the championship. Also, congratulations to the marching band for placing 4th in their division. In addition to all the wins on the field, we also had success with hosting the very first fall formal for Wilson High School at the Reading Planetarium. We have not had a dance separate from prom in the past 4 years, so it's great to see that there is more school spirit, and hopefully it will continue into other events. In the next few weeks, many clubs are organizing their own volunteer opportunities with the holidays coming up. In addition to these, we are also having a competition among the clubs to see who can bring in the most donations for Stockings for Soldiers. There's also Wilson Theater Bingo on Sunday, so if you'd like to go to the Casino Bash and then also have some luck at the Theater Bingo, I think they'd appreciate that. I know they have a lot of good prizes there. Yep, that's it.
Great, thank you very much. Mr. Ravitch, anything?
Remember that? We had a representative that we talked about the snowball for months and months and months, but it was all in good fun, but we would ask for updates on the snowball, so I have no report.
And we have no public participation, I don't believe, right? Okay, all right. Any other business from the board?
Just one final thank you to all of you. Enjoy your free time, and thanks again for everything.
Thank you. Looking for a motion to adjourn. Mr. Hart, thank you.